Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this very special occasion as we recognize and honor the change in leadership of the 375th Civil Engineer Squadron from Lieutenant Colonel Ryan LeBlanc to Lieutenant Colonel Jacob Patello. The presiding official for today's ceremony is the commander, 375th Mission Support Group, Colonel Will Cooper. I am Senior Master Sergeant Kenny Helton, and I'll be your narrator for today's ceremony. From ancient times, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victory over the enemy, to honor comrades in arms, and celebrate special occasions such as the Change of Command. History reveals that in the Middle Ages, it was not uncommon for the soldiers in the field to be unaware of whom their commanders were or what they looked like. The formal change of command afforded these soldiers the opportunity to witness proceedings and actually see their commanders. The Continental Army of the United States conducted the first official ceremonies in America. This was the basis from which the present ceremony is derived. Today, the primary purpose of the change of command is to allow subordinates to witness the formal transfer of total responsibility, authority, and accountability from one officer to another. These ceremonies have added color and pageantry to military life while preserving tradition and stimulating esprit de corps. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the presentation of colors and the singing of the national anthem.
Colors. Halt. Present. Arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order. Arms. Colors. Over. Harsh.
Thank you, Scott Air Force Base Fire Department Honor Guard and Mr. Hopkins. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. To help recognize the importance of this ceremony, we are joined today by a number of special and distinguished guests. Lieutenant Colonel Blanc's spouse, Patrina. Lieutenant Colonel Batella's spouse, Jamie. Other distinguished guests include the spouse of the commander, 375th Mission Support Group, Mrs. Beth Cooper. The Chief, Logistics Operations and Civil Engineer Division within the Logistics Engineering and Force Protection Directorate, Air Mobility Command, Colonel Randy Boswell. The Commander, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Colonel Chris Robinson and his spouse, Stephanie. Representing the Command Chief, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Gloria Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 375th Mission Support Group, Colonel Will Cooper.
Bear with me, folks, as I get this mic set to appropriate height and I get my words. Vince, I'm sorry, this is an outdoor event, so we couldn't see that wonderful coif. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but that man, no, there it is. Show it to the world, man. Go ahead. All right, folks, so far you've been doing a really good job with the applause, but we're going to start off with a bit of crowd participation to help me. In my script, there's a couple things that says Q. That Q means applaud. Is that fair? All right, so I'm going to try the basic one. Why did you delay, Vince? I'm not saying Q. This is why we practice, right? Okay, let's try a little more subtle. Okay. Finally, let's try quick. There you go. All right. So Colonel Robinson, Stephanie, we always appreciate you being here. Thank you. Chief Wilson, I'm happy to hear you drove by the building this morning. Before I realized you were back at the wing today. You're always welcome back to the MSG at some point. Doogie, I will never be able to top your Bob Ross opening. And for those who missed that change of command, please feel free to salt the Doogie because it's impressive. And since the vice is not here, you're untapped if I go off the rails. Colonel Boswell, sir, thank you for being here. And thank you for your service. Colonel Boswell had his retirement ceremony on this very stage this morning. Okay, a little shaky, but we got time. Okay, Tammy Brown, good to see you. My bad, but great, right way to follow. All right, I'll be more careful. Leaders, friends, family, I appreciate you all being here for today's Change of Command. These events are important, and they should be emotional. My hope is we all feel a bit bittersweet, some happy aspects and some sad ones, because that's what happens when you invest, when you connect. They can also be fun, since we all cherish the memories we create as we work with each other to be successful. But it can become awkward if you don't remember the people you work with. So let me start with a story about Ryan in context. And if you need another example of this situation, please see Chief Johnson when you get the chance. I first ran into Ryan at the Pentagon. Now, we didn't work with each other or see each other in the halls like most of these stories start. Instead, we saw each other in a basketball court. Now, Ryan can play ball. I'll give him that. And I always appreciated playing against him, but I really enjoyed it when he was on my team. So fast forward a few years, and I've been selected for this opportunity, and I meet Ryan, who is now the squadron commander of CE. We briefly spoke to each other, but it didn't click for him. Maybe a week or so later in the gym, when Ryan's there for unit PT, he walks over and introduces himself excitedly and asks, "What are you doing here?" Now, at this point, I'm a bit confused because I just saw him a week before, and I introduced myself with Colonel Glenn to say, I'm the new group commander. So now I think I'm going crazy. So we talk about being in Transcom, and he's surprised I'm in the Air Force. So I think it was about a week later, he sees me again and apologizes. So if you run into Ryan later in his career, just understand if you're out of context, it may take us some time to figure out who you are, but it'll come together. And again, if you want another example of this, C.G. Johnson. And good job with the, man. Whew. All right. So let's get into today's ceremony. And we'll start with something a little odd. To be a leader or to lead. Now, when you think about it and say it out loud, it may sound odd because they're usually seen as one and the same. But that really isn't the case. Many people claim to be leaders, either because of rank or position, title, or even because of ego. Most of the time, they do not lead. That is not the case with Lieutenant Colonel Ryan LeBlanc. Ryan leads. He has vision, he takes initiative, and he cares for our engineers, our airmen, our precious souls. As you all know, our wing's one priority is readiness. And Ryan ensured this readiness platform we call a base was resilient and reliable. Whether it was aging infrastructure or Mother Nature, our engineers kept this installation ready. He developed expeditionary engineers that meet old plan taskings or impromptu contingency taskings to support combatant commands. Simply put, he made sure our engineers were ready. But he didn't stop there. He leveraged the power of CE to enhance the war course. He collaborated with missile support group sister units like LRS and security forces, as well as units from across the wing to improve integration to ensure the wing is ready. Naturally, these efforts were recognized and led to an enormous number of high-level awards across the unit, including Scott's ever Curtain Award as the Air Force's Outstanding Small Civil Engineer Squadron. All that is wonderful. But as I alluded to at the beginning of my speech, investment, connection, that's the foundation. The family of CE is the source of their strength. And that source was not just because of Ryan. Katrina and the numerous spouses of the unit were influential. I would say vital to that connection and success. They provide another set of eyes, ears, and most important, heart for the squadron. The spouses were empowered and activated, which led to a full calendar of family-focused events that ensure connection to each other, the squadron, and helping agencies across the wing. Those efforts led to spouses being recognized as the Wing's 2022 Joan Orr Spouse of the Year nominee to AMC, and the Wing's 2022 Key Spouse of the Year. So let's take a moment to recognize Katrina and the rest of those wonderful spouses. Ryan will tell you he and Katrina modeled themselves out on their first group command. And while I will tell you I see them as a template. The template how to enhance readiness by building connection, by building a family. I will miss them both, but I know their future is bright as they head off to Eisenhower for a year of study, a year of reflection, and hopefully some well-deserved downtime. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is a bittersweet situation. Here comes a bit more of the sweet part. We are blessed to follow the LeBlancs with the Botellos, Jake and Jamie. While you're waiting for the ceremony to start, I hope you took the time to look at Jake's bio. He has 17 years of experience as an Air Force Civil Engineer officer, with duties at all levels, to include some previous time here at Scott. Not to mention he has some street cred with 5 deployments. The folks in the MSG family know we like to ask for interesting tidbits to help us break the ice. Well, Jake has a few. First, he loves extreme irony. It's okay, folks, you can giggle. He loves time travel. And he bear wrestles. Yeah, exactly. Now, those may or may not be true. So please feel free to talk to him to figure it out. He is married to the wonderful Miss Jamie, and they picked Scott Air Force Base as their #1 choice. He believes in connection, he believes in being better, and I trust him. So I have no doubt they are the perfect couple to continue the development of the 375th Civil Engineer Squadron. For you, Jake, I would ask you to give yourself some grace while you learn about the environment we work in here. I would ask that you trust those around you, as this unit has proven itself time and time again. And finally, I would ask you to be curious about why we do what we do and how we can continue to be better. To my engineer family, you guys have all heard the following before, but it never hurts to repeat. Change is hard. It is natural to feel insecure, confused, and fearful. So as you say farewell to Lieutenant Colonel LeBlanc and Katrina, and welcome to Lieutenant Colonel Botello and Jamie, know that we all believe in each of you. So be who you are, lead the way, and continue to make lives better. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here today and for the grace that you have shown me this afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel LeBlanc.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. To all hosts shall see these presents greetings. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Ryan L. LeBlanc for outstanding service 7 July 2021 to 23 June 2023. Lieutenant Colonel Ryan LeBlanc distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 375th Civil Engineer Squadron, 375th Mission Support Group, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. During this period, Colonel LeBlanc maintained a reliable force protection platform by leading the response to 2 natural disasters in a 5-month period, tackling emergency repairs to 80 facilities to restore operations in minimal time, and built a $4 million recovery package. Focused on readiness, Colonel LeBlanc reinvigorated the Prime Brief program to develop and maintain highly skilled civil engineer forces and integrated training for units from across the group and the wing. This collaboration was instrumental in the wing deploying 350 airmen to operate in a contested environment and provide critical aeromedical evacuation support for Operation Ballistic Badger. Moreover, by empowering the unit's Key Spouse program, he led a culture shift to enhance connection and readiness to bridge families of deployed service members to the resources available to them. Lieutenant Colonel LeBlanc's leadership led to unprecedented recognition for the squadron, including 11 Air Mobility Command level awards and 4 Air Force level awards, to include the unit being named the Air Force's Outstanding Small Civil Engineer Squadron for 2022. The singular distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant Colonel LeBlanc reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 375th Civil Engineer Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan LeBlanc.
Okay, so if you're wondering why we're outside today, that's me. So don't blame Jake for this one, but I figured I would invite everybody out to where CE spends all of our time, right? There's no bad weather in civil engineering. There's just different weather, right? So if it's hot, we dress for it. If it's cold, we dress for it. We're out there all the time. So welcome to our compound, and I'll start from there. Colonel Cooper and I didn't write our speeches together, right? But man, he teed me up pretty well for the message that I wanted to pass along today. Because leadership matters. And in bad organizations, nobody leads, right? In good organizations, commanders lead, and other identified leaders lead. But in great organizations, everybody leads. And let's be honest, this is a great unit. And for 2 years, I have watched as leaders have emerged from every corner of this family. The team Katrina and I were accepted into was undoubtedly the highest performing team that I've had the privilege to join in my 20-year career, and I believe it's still ascending. And that's a bold claim, because as you heard earlier, in the last 12 months, it might have been the squadron's greatest year on paper in terms of not only awards, but more importantly in terms of our performance and the confidence that I believe that the wing has in our ability and in your ability to lead the way. I witnessed this family's power as we aligned along 3 lines of effort that everybody understood, and we described an ideal state for each. And then we empowered the airmen to lead from all levels, to root out those gaps, and to design the solutions themselves. And the end result was, as it was mentioned, was that Curtin Award, right? And they can't take that away, because this is the best civil engineer squadron in the Air Force for this year. And probably, okay, I'll do a Colonel Cooper. All right. All right. And they can't take that away, right? And next year we can't submit because they won't let us. I promise you we're the best civil engineer squadron in the Air Force next year too. We attacked readiness. And we did it by empowering our NCO Corps, leaders all, to rebuild a program that eschewed the computer-based familiarity that had become the standard in favor of hands-on proficiency. And we nearly went from worst to first in AMC in 18 months. We did finally pass Travis, which was the first. They were number one 18 months ago, but someone snuck over in MRA stats, and we were unable to claim that title. But it was an impressive haul, not by me, but by all of you. Our UDMs mastered ever-changing processes to push over 200 engineers from this unit forward in the last 2 years, ready to perform in theater with the high standards that we expect of members of this unit. And the feedback that we are getting from forward commanders, from the people that are deployed right now, is that our engineers are absolutely crushing it downrange. So thank you to the leadership in the front row here for giving us the freedom to maneuver, and to the leaders on our team back there that held us to a high standard. So I want to first recognize the leaders in the front row. And Colonel Boswell, you don't have a neat part in this speech because it's a 3-part speech just like yours was, but it goes along my lines of effort. But I'll pause right here to say thanks for hiring me twice. Thanks for hiring me to JBAB when you represented us for AFDW, and thanks for hiring me here to Scott. It's been my best assignment ever, and I owe that to you. Thank you. So next, we rebuilt connections that we had lost during COVID. Together, we brought the team and their families back together, and you responded with vigor. Picnics, winter parties, holiday events, Unite events, all things that had not happened in a few years, not because of me, but because y'all were ready to come back together. And we benchmarked a Key Spouse program that knitted our families together into a connected tribe. Your word, not mine, but thank you for that. And that doesn't happen without your collective buy-in and your leadership. So thank you for collectively investing to ensure that everyone, airmen, spouses, children, were brought under our tent. And this is where I want to officially thank Patrina for being my partner in leading how we always said we would. Your impact here was immeasurable. All right, that was the hard part. So thank you to our key spouses also for all that you did to our families. Christine, I see you back there somewhere. Yep, there you are. Who else we got? Where we got it? We got it. I'm looking around the room. Anybody else? Oh, there we go. Welcome. So we brought a large 6-person key spouse program together. They did a fantastic job. And I can't say enough of what these women did for the families of this unit. Thank you to them. Finally, we restored traditions lost due to apathy or the passage of time. The recent dining out, our Hail Farewell event that we just brought back far too late, and for no reason other than we hadn't gotten around to it, but it's here now. Increased participation in the Air Force balls and the similar functions that the wing leads, but we explained to the airmen why they were important. And the imminent completion behind us of Snyder Hall to celebrate our unit's heritage. They're all part of what differentiates the military from the civilian sector. Our customs and traditions build powerful bonds, and our families need those bonds when they're tested later. So this unit has a lot to anchor to and be proud of. And I must thank the members of our team that stepped forward to take ownership in bringing that heritage back. So all of that feels good, right? And it should, because you've earned that feeling. Because you've all had so much success. So you all led that. But there's always risk in the aftermath of success. Because without fresh inputs and new perspectives, complacency can set in after success. And even as I am personally so sad to depart this family, I am professionally excited for you all, for the opportunity that today presents. And today's event is critical to continuing the forward momentum of this unit. Lieutenant Colonel Jake Botello is a friend. He is a talented officer. I'll vouch for him. I've worked with him before. He's going to see things that I didn't see. And he's going to take this team to even higher heights. Jake, I love that you are following me. And I don't know where y'all are going to go or how you're going to wield the power of this unit to improve our team, Scott Air Force Base, and its missions. To our family, thank you all for leading the way, and you have forever changed me for the better. Katrina, I am excited to start this next chapter. Let's go.
Lieutenant Colonel Blanc will now receive his final salute as the commander of the 375th Civil Engineer Squadron.
All right, and as is customary in CE, and for those of you who have graduated CE that aren't part of our unit, feel free to join in. Engineers!
Lead away!
Ariel.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the change of command ceremony.
Publish the order.
Attention and orders. Department of the Air Force, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Scott Air Force Base. Special order number, Sierra Foxtrot 23025, 23 June 2023. Lieutenant Colonel Ryan LeBlanc relinquishes command of the 375th Civil Engineer Squadron to Lieutenant Colonel Jacob Botello by the order of Colonel Will Cooper, Commander, 375th Mission Support Group. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 375th Civil Engineer Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Jacob Botello.
Thank you. This mic is perfect for me. It's like they planned it. It's great to be up here. Who's a little warm? I'm a little warm. Yeah. Good afternoon. So as the new guy, and all that is standing between you, a beautiful Friday afternoon, and refreshments over there after the ceremony, I'll be brief with my comments. First off, I'd like to acknowledge my family and friends, some who are watching from afar and some in the crowd. Thank you for being here today. Without their support and foundation laid, I would not be here today. I especially want to thank my wife, Jamie, for her unwavering support. Without your love and support, I would not be here today. This would not have been possible. Colonel Robinson, Chief Wilson, group and squadron commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, fellow airmen, and especially the men and women of the 375th Civil Engineer Squadron. Thank you all for partaking in today's ceremony to welcome Jamie and I as part of the Scott Air Force family, and even more so, as part of the 375th Civil Engineer family. I am extremely humbled to be here. Colonel Cooper, thank you for the opportunity to command this outstanding squadron and to serve as your base civil engineer. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. Colonel Boswell, thank you, sir. Congratulations on your retirement this morning. And thanks again. I know you had a hand in this as well, so thank you, sir. Lieutenant Colonel LeBlanc, thank you for your leadership and guidance during our transition. It's clear that this squadron has flourished under your leadership, and we all look forward to seeing you do great things for our Air Force and our engineers. Enjoy your year at school. I know you're going to have fun, and yes, enjoy your break. I wish you and Patrina the best in DC. Over my 17 years of service at various locations, Scott Air Force Base and AMC hold a special place in my heart. So we've always tried to get back here, and we made it. This is our second tour here and third assignment in AMC. Getting to lead this squadron and to enable the delivery of rapid global mobility at AMC Showcase Wing is truly an honor. As proud as I am to be standing up here today, it's not about me. It's about the outstanding men and women, both military and civilian, of the 375th Civil Engineer Squadron. It is a distinct privilege to lead this unit and give you the tools and resources you need to continue what you do best, providing a combat-ready engineer force anytime, anywhere, and sustain Scott Air Force Base combat capability. Engineers truly lead the way. I'm excited to get to know each and every one of you and to make our time together memorable. Each of you deserve to be led and inspired by leaders of trust, loyalty, and commitment, and you have my word that each day in command, I will strive to answer that call. Finally, thank you to everyone who helped plan and execute this ceremony. This display alone of what engineers bring to the fight is a statement and testament to the professionalism of this squadron. Thank you all for coming, and have a great Air Force Day.
Lieutenant Colonel Botello will now receive his first salute as the commander of the 375th Civil Engineer Squadron.
Right, let's hear it loud and loud. Engineer!
Lead the way!
Carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Air Force song and departure of the official party. Following the ceremony, you are invited to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Botello and Mrs. Botello and enjoy some light refreshments in our electrician's bay to your left. The sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Have boys, give it a gun.